Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel, my students. Before watching my video, make sure that you have pressed the bell icon and subscribe to my channel Nida's Literature. Today I am going to discuss about the communicative approaches to L2 language, second language teaching. So start the topic. So the first model of communicative competence was given by the two pioneers. You can see here also their name was Canal and Swain. And this model is presented the integrative theoretical frameworks of four main competences. Also, the first one is the grammatical competence. It includes the knowledge of vocabulary, rules, and pronunciation, spellings. Okay, so they are this includes the rules, pronunciations, the anything that is related to the sentence structure. Okay, the word formation and sentence structures, we learn about this in the grammatical competence. Now the second one is the socio-linguistic competence. So as the social linguistic competence, its name giving the main idea of this competence. It refers to the knowledge of the socio-cultural rules. Okay, it gives the socio-cultural rules knowledge. You can also note it down. Okay, now the third one is the strategic competence. So strategic competence involves the knowledge of use of how to use verbal and non-verbal communication strategies, that how you handle the breakdowns in communication. It is the very important word that you can use here. It means that when you feel uncomfortable, or when you cannot continue the conversation, or when you have the lack of vocabulary during or face any kind of embarrassment, you can tackle it totally depends on you, that how you tackle which kinds of strategies you apply during the conversation. Okay, so now the fourth one is the discourse competence. Basically, the discourse competence is concerned with the coherence and cohesion of the spoken or written text. So it deals with the stickiness of the text or your conversation, that how the points are interrelated to each other. Also it includes the rules or the grammatical way of your talking. Okay, so discourse competence is something like that. So this approach was hit by the criticism that was given by the Swignen. She said that they pioneers, the Canal and Swain, they couldn't give the interrelationship between the four main competences, and she was the one who uses this approach and proposed another competence. So the fact was proposed by Swignen. She said that an increase in one component can increase the overall level of communicative competence. This approach, this assumption is supported by the fact that measure of both socio-linguistic and strategic competence can be the points that increase the overall level of communicative competence. You can say that for example, social linguistic and strategic competences, I have already discussed it with you in the upper points, can increase the grammatical competence. So in short, it means that without the use of language, you can speak. Without the use of proper use of language, a person can communicate through gestures and facial expressions also. So they are also included during our conversation. So Swignen's approach also faced the criticism. She she was the one, and she is not able to present the pragmatic competence. So Beckman was the one who presented the pragmatic component of the communicative approach. He said that the Swignan, she is not able to propose the pragmatic component, and additionally he believed that the no attention was paid to the four skills. I have already discussed with you many times the four skills: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And Beckman, the theory continued by the Beckman, he was the one who gave the idea of this approach. Now the he studied this approach and given his model that is mentioned here. He said that Beckman said that he developed the three components. I have mentioned three, but it included only two components. The first one is the language competence, and the third one is the strategic competence and psychomotor. So language competence is the competence that is given by the Beckman. So it is further divided into the two, which is the organizational competence and pragmatic competence. Organizational competence is further divided into the two, grammatical competence and textual competence. Now I am going to discuss with you that how they are related to the previous ones. Okay, on textual, grammatical and textual competence, which can be comparable to Canals and Swignan's concept of grammatical and discourse competences respectively. Canals and Swignan's grammatical and discourse competences respectively. I have already discussed in the previous slide. You can again see there. So pragmatic competence is further divided into the two, illocutionary competence and social linguistic competence. Illocutionary competence, basically it deals with the pragmatic conventions. On the other hand, social linguistic competence, basically it deals with the social linguistic conventions. It deals with the pragmatic conventions, and it deals with the social linguistic conventions. Okay, so I am moving towards the second topic, which is the strategic and psychomotor skills. It was the second point of the Beckman's model. You can see here strategic and sorry for this. You can see here this strategic and competence and psychomotor skills. Now I am moving to the so strategic and psychomotor skill is further divided into the oral and visual language use, and in productive language we use these modes. So they are homophones. So I am going to discuss with you like this. In oral and visual, when you receive something, you use your vision powers and your you questions to yourself mentalistic. It is also a mentalistic mode. On the other hand, oral and visual, the second one is the productive mode. When you give a lecture, when you speak something, when you communicate with others one. So in this approach, you in short, it is the one in which the formal allows the language users to employ the elements within the context. Okay, so here I am gonna to discuss with you about the criticism that was faced by the Beckman's approach or pragmatic approach. He made a distinction with regard to the pragmatic competence and took into account the psychophysiological mechanisms which are essential for performing a trances, as I've already discussed. But he took into account the author didn't established any relationship between among the three constituents as Swignans have already done. He is not able to give the interrelationship between his points. He criticized the Swignan's one, that she is not able to give the interrelationship among the points, but he couldn't give the interrelationship between his points also. So he faced the criticism here. So I am going to discuss with you about Elkin. He was the one who proposed again the model of communicative competence. Here, comparable to Beckman's, he proposed the three components. As Beckman proposed the two components, I have mistakenly mentioned three. He proposed two components, and Beckman presented. Elkin presented three main sub-components: discourse competence, psychomotor skills, and strategic competence. These are the three. Discourse competence is, you can see here, is the core of communicative competence. Is the core of communicative competence, and it is further divided into the linguistic and textual and pragmatics linguistic, textual, and pragmatics. You can see here that the Celsius, Dorney, and Thurl in turn break down the three constituents, and now I'm going to discuss them one by one. Linguistic competence refers to only grammatical knowledge. I have already discussed grammatical knowledge. Linguistic is totally related to this. In textual also, and pragmatics I have already discussed in the previous ones. I don't think that I should repeat them again, but the psychomotor skills and competences influences the four skills according to Elkin, and he said that the four skills: speaking, reading, writing, and listening, they are more related to each other. They are more influenced by this approach. Okay. The third one is the strategic competence. Involves both the communicative and learning strategies. You can say that it is considered as the knowledge of communication strategies and how to use them. Okay, so he totally given his presentations researches on about the previous ones topics according to the Beckman's ones. Okay, so I'm moving towards the last one's a theorist who gave whose name was Cortese and Lynn Lynn in 1999. Celsius, Dorn, and Thurl model give an increasing recognition nowadays related to cultural aspects. So Cortese and Lynn was the ones who proposed about the cultural aspects. As Celsius, Dorn, and Thurl, they were not able to speak about the cultural context, and but their theory gave a rise to cultural context. Now the Lynn and Cortese, they are the ones who are giving this competences. They totally discussed about the cultural context by the relationship of intercultural communicative competence. You can see here also. So they developed intercultural communicative competence. In intercultural communicative competence, you can see you can say that you speak according to the cultural norms, conditions, traditions of that place. You speak there according to the situation, and it is totally a mentalistic approach, and it is also related to the previous ones. So they are a little bit related to each other. There is no big difference between them. Only the authors, researchers names are important, so you should use them. And for teaching purposes, for L2 teaching purposes, you can see here that all the competencies are important. All the topics are important. As you can see here, the strategic competence, we also face such kinds of situations when we are not able to speak something, when we are not able to say something. So it is totally depends, it only depends on us that how you are gonna to tackle with that situation. Use the quanning words techniques. Many kinds of techniques are presented. I'm gonna to make a video on the such kinds of techniques also, so please use such kinds of techniques also. So here it ends. Thanks for watching, and if you find anything difficult, you can also ask me in this comment section, and thanks for watching. Here it ends. Bye bye. Do subscribe, like, and give a thumbs up to my video also.